Hello and welcome into the Command Center studios. I'm Julie Donaldson. So everybody in Washington is super excited to welcome the two-time Super Bowl winning offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy to town. Of course, he's already in the building and hard at work preparing for next season. But what will an offense look like underneath him here? About his philosophies and his style of coaching. That's what we're going to be discussing over the next 30 minutes. This is Welcome to Washington, Commander's Offseason Special, and is brought to you by the Telluride X Pro from Kia, official partner of the Washington Commanders. And joining me today is Logan Paulsen, Fred Smoot, and Santana Moss. Gentlemen, probably the most exciting news that came around here so far this offseason is the signing of Eric Bieniemy as offensive coordinator and assistant head coach. I want to get your reactions to this news before we dive into what to expect from him. Fred.
First of all, I want to say, Logan, I told you so. Second of all, Coach, why not D.C.? Like Coach said, why not D.C.? To show the NFL what an Eric Bieniemy offense looks like, not an Andy Reid offense. I enjoy him coming here right now.
Dude, I'm ecstatic that he's here because to talk about the guys that he was looking at, this is the one that feels the freshest, the most exciting, the best pedigree, the best resume. He was up for head coaching jobs recently. I'm ecstatic that our guy is here, and I can't wait to see what he does with this offense.
I'm beyond ecstatic. First of all, I couldn't believe it. I had to pinch myself a little bit. Just knowing what this guy's pedigree is. I mean, he's a guy that played at the highest level, coached at the highest level. Now, when you look at what we had offensively, we talked about how not getting those guys involved a little more. We have the right coach in him to do it now. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That we do. A lot of excitement. And of course, this will officially be his offense. Head coach Ron Rivera giving him full control. Everybody can't wait to see what he does with the weapons that we have at his disposal as well. So, yes, welcome on in Eric Bieniemy. Now, of course, it was just right after he won the Super Bowl that he was quickly coming up here to Washington. No rest for the weary, right? So he comes in also not just as the OC, but as the assistant head coach. And Coach Rivera giving him, yes, the offense is all his, full control from personnel to play calling. And then looking at the offense he put together out in Kansas City, wait to see what he does here with the Commanders. Let's take a look at his coaching resume during his time with the Chiefs. Bieniemy's unit finished with the league's top-ranked offense 3 different times. And during his 5 years as offensive coordinator, Kansas City never finished outside of the top 6 in total offense. So here's what he had to say at his introductory press conference.
Why not Washington? Look at all the talent. Look at the players that they have, okay? Look at the guys that they have on defense. So I'm excited about this opportunity. I've known Coach Ron now since 1999. So relationships mean something. I've known Coach Mayhew for a number of years, and that means something. I've known Mr. Stokes for a number of years. And so I have no doubt about what they're building here. Obviously, they went to the playoffs in the previous year. So they were basically real close this year of going. So I have never, ever backed down from a challenge. So I'm embracing this challenge. I'm fired up. I'm excited. I'm excited when it's time to start talking ball with these guys, to start getting to work. But when it's all said and done with, why not Washington? I just want to make sure that these guys understand that there's a way in which I know how to do it. But on top of that, I got to make sure that I'm putting these guys in the best situation to be the most explosive, the most dynamic, and also, more importantly, giving us the best opportunity to be successful. So that's one thing, okay? But when it's all said and done with, we're going to do this. We're going to play hard. We're going to play fast. We're going to have a sense of urgency and a sense of purpose in everything that we do. And that's where it starts, okay? And it's all about being accountable as well, understanding the fact that indirectly we all impact each other's lives. So it's my job to make sure I'm doing what is right by them. But on top of that, they got to make sure that they're doing right by each other. So my envision right now is making sure that that process takes care of itself. The X's and O's will take care of itself. These guys, they know football. Okay, they understand football. These guys are professional players for a reason. Okay, now only thing that's going to change, the verbiage may change. You know, some of the route concepts, the way we term them may change. But when it's all said and done with, it's football. And if we love what we do, we'll have the success that we need to have, long as we're investing in it the right way.
Listening to that, it has me wanting to suit up. Man, he gets you fired up. Everybody that was there says we will run through a brick wall for you. But let's talk a little bit about what we can actually expect with him here. And Logan, I want to kick this one off with you because he actually coached you a few years ago at college.
2 years ago.
But,
That's how old you are.
2 years ago.
All right.
We've developed and grown a little bit since then, but what can we expect on how he's going to coach this team?
Well, he's a guy that coached the running backs while I was at UCLA, and he also recruited me to UCLA. And he's a guy that I think is very, very passionate about what he does and holds the running backs, as you know, Fred, because he coached the running backs in Minnesota, holds those guys to the highest of standards. And with a young team like they've got here, I think that's going to be really impactful. When you're installing offense, those details are so important. So I can't wait for him to get in here and kind of introduce himself to everybody with that really aggressive coaching demeanor, you know.
I like you practice how you play.
Right.
He is intense at practice. I remember days going back and forth with him, going to war with him at practice. He's going to practice like it's a game. And I think when you get to the game with coaches like that, the game becomes routine, the game becomes easier. And I think that's what he's going to bring. He's going to challenge that defense they used to win at practice all the time.
I love hearing you guys talk about his demeanor. You know, talking about he's a no-nonsense type of guy. And that's, you know, sometimes you need those guys on these coaching staff to make sure that he can hold everybody accountable. And I think offensively, we haven't reached where we should be, and I think we're going to do that with EB here.
All right, so you have Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson, Curtis Samuel, Antonio Gibson, a whole bunch of weapons for him to be able to play with. If you're talking about being coached hard and the alpha of the alphas, he's going to be that top dog in the room. Santana, who benefits most, though, from his coaching?
Well, one of the things I want to see is the running back room. How does it change? You know, you have a young guy that came on the scene and played well. But one of the guys that I've been a big fan of is AG. And I think he's a guy that fits the mold of this offense. He's going to be a guy that we can really watch and see what EB brings to his game and brings to the longevity of his game. I think he can excel, and the way they use these backs, you know, we in the league now today, it's not a dominant, back out there. They're going to always have a counterpartner. And I think we have the best backfield in the NFC East.
Oh, all right. That's big. That's big claim there, right? That's what we'll see.
I'm going to go Mr. Curtis Samuels. And this is why I'm going to go Curtis Samuels, Micaiah Hartman. The guys that moved into Kansas City offense are the guys that the offense was predicated around. They got quick screens. They got quick balls. Run after the catch. I'm going to tell you like this. I don't know if he sit at bars, but he loved Yak. He loved his wide receivers to run after the catch. Curtis Samuels will be that guy. I'm not shocked if he's a cuss Pro Bowler by the end of the year.
I think you guys are both got great picks, but I think they're wrong. I think it's the tight end group, right? Logan Thomas, Armani Rogers,
no
Cole
bias
Turner.
there.
They're going to be the guys. They're not even on this list. What's going on? They're the guys that are going to benefit most from him being here. The tight ends in that offense do exceptionally well. We got a talented bunch of playmakers, and he's going to use multiple personnel groupings to elevate that group.
I can dig it.
Nobody mentioned Sam Howell either, though, Santana. And look, they've known to be able to really develop and grow quarterbacks and adjust their style of offense depending on what quarterback is back there.
Yeah, I think time will tell. I think Sam is going to be one of those guys. He's the project that everybody want to see panned out, and I'm sure I'm on board with it. I want to see Sam Howell reach his full potential, but I think time will tell. He's going to have to go out there and get a lot of play on his belt. Reps is key, and I think once we see the reps, then everything else can take its place. But I don't want to speak too fast on him because I want to make sure that he does.
The young Airwolf, Sam Howell. I call him the Airwolf, and I think he's a total mixture between Tony Romo and Kurt Warner. So you can name him what you want to, but I think he can be special, especially with this offensive coordinator.
Okay, so if we're talking about what success looks like, Logan, what would that be?
I think it's really correlated to Sam Howell and how EB cultivates this offense to support him. Are they a run-first team that kind of limits Sam Howell's exposure, play-action pass shots, RPO? Or are they saying, hey, Sam Howell, you ran a ton of RPO in college. We're going to live and die by that. We're going to let you deal a little bit. That's what it comes down to, is this man's decision to how he impacts this player. And I think that's going to be the biggest part of determining success for this group.
Yeah, I'm totally with you on that one, but the synergy. I want to see what synergy he gets, and I don't want him to hold Sam back. Running team, passing team, I want them to do whatever needed that day to beat the defense, and I think that would take us to the next level.
I think being offensively sound. One of the things I say about being sound, you hear me time and time again harp on just moving the ball, getting points when points are needed. I think that's some of the things I've seen with Kansas City. Now, when it comes to Patrick Mahomes, he finds ways to make things happen magically, but I think offensively sound, and I think he's going to bring that level of play to this offense, whether it's Sam Howell at the helm or whoever, but I think our offense will be more efficient moving forward.
We certainly need points to be added up there to make sure that we get more wins and into the postseason than we have in the past few years. Now, so those are what some of the former players had to say about EB. But what about the guys who will be charged to execute his game plan?
It's exciting to bring a guy in like him with his pedigree and his championships on his finger. You know what I mean? I think that's something that we all want and we all strive for each and every day. And I think him leading the way that he has with the relationships, but also his expectations is extremely important and clear. And I think that's going to help the group of guys that we have to take the next step that we need to take this offense to another level.
It's really cool, you know, Coach Bieniemy coming from a guy like Patrick Mahomes, who's arguably the best quarterback in the league, and being able to work with such a talented guy like Sam, you know, you just can't wait to see how he's going to flourish in his system and make the plays that we know he can make. So I'm really excited for him. I'm really excited for the guys in the room. Really excited for myself, and can't wait for the opportunity.
Well, Coach Bieniemy certainly will have plenty of toys to play with here in Washington. Wide receiver Terry McLaurin has been a constant for DC, recording his third straight 1,000-yard season. And a pair of rookies came on strong in 2022. First-round pick Jahan Dotson led the team with 7 total touchdowns, and Brian Robinson Jr. led all running backs with 797 rushing yards. For a look into his style, let's send it into the film room with Logan.
Eric Bieniemy is in town, and I think everyone's just really fired up for what the opportunity he brings and the mindset he brings. So, especially with the playmakers that we have here in Washington, look at Curtis Samuel here, kind of space player extraordinaire, getting this jet sweep, and this is a great job by Curtis. But he's got to do a little extra work, got to make the defensive end miss. Does a great job. You see what this athlete can do. You see what a playmaker like this can be in an offense. And I say, you know what Eric Bieniemy's shown? He's shown a great proclivity to elevate players like Kadarius Toney and find ways to get them into space without them having to do that extra work. So check this out. He's going to have this running back lead block on the defensive end so the tight end can release to space and the tackle can release to space. And watch Kadarius Toney. He fumbles the snap here when he gets the handoff on this jet sweep action and still is able to get to the perimeter untouched, right? This is what I want Curtis Samuel to have the opportunity. Get into space, get hats on hats, let him walk into the end zone. Easy money for a guy like that. Everyone knows what Jahan can do. Jahan can make explosive plays down the field. One of the best contorting catch kind of makers in the NFL in his rookie year. Great job there making that play. I want to see a coach who can elevate that skill set in critical down and distance. Here we go. We're getting all out pressure here from the Cincinnati Bengals. You get Patrick Mahomes here being like, hey, running back, we're going to block this guy here. They're in zero coverage. That means we're manned up across the outside here. We got man. Can we exploit this opportunity here? And I want to say yes, especially with guys like Jahan Dotson. Get the protection worked out, get it picked up. Let the quarterback lose a little bit of ground, and let's take shots because teams cannot play zero coverage, and we have these types of skill position players. Let Jahan make that contested touch for Washington and Eric Bieniemy's scheme. Everyone's talking about, Curtis, Terry, Jahan, all these different playmakers. I want to see this guy make some plays. I want to see the backup tight ends and multiple personnel groupings make plays because Armani Rogers is 6'6", 245 pounds. He runs a 4.4. I want to see him get the football in space and be a feature of this offense. Him, Curtis Hodges, Trey Turner, all those guys are capable, and Eric Bieniemy has shown an ability to do that at a high level. Here we go. We got our backup tight end. Don't adjust your TV set. It's the same number, 88. We're going to get 4 away from the tight end here. Here we go. And we're going to say, 1 receiver, 2 receiver, 3 receiver, 4 receiver. That's going to force this linebacker to match to the 4 weak. We're going to get a slant here with inside leverage on a cornerback with a big body. This linebacker doesn't even know what's going on. Easy completion here for Patrick Mahomes. And I say, this is a coordinator who understands how to use personnel to elevate the quarterback and elevate the other playmakers on the field and get touchdowns. Easy touchdowns for the quarterback, utilizing skill sets. Everyone knows what Terry brings, right? Terry's one of the best, again, physical receivers, true alpha in this offense, beating Jair Alexander, number 1 receiver. That's tough work for Terry. He's got to be excellent there, fighting back for the football. I want to see Terry get easy, open targets, and Eric Bieniemy has shown how to do that at a high level. Here we go. We're going to get a corner in-cut concept, which marries with a dagger concept. Imagine if Terry's at this spot right here. This player is going to run a corner, kind of off of a drive action, back out with a dig here. And watch the space he's able to create by selling this concept, which usually is a seam. Watch number 21 cross his feet over, loses him in coverage. Terry can definitely run that route, and look at the space that's cultivated just by the concept, and that's what you want to see. You want to see playmakers in space, not having to elevate the offense, but the offense elevating them. Here we go, B-Rob, man. Everyone knows what he is. Big, physical, downhill rudder, getting after people, fighting for yards after contact. But I don't always want to see that. I want to see B-Rob get into space. I want him to get into the second level of the defense. Watch this release here. By here, we're going to soften this edge player so the kick out has an easy block. Watch this guy kind of widen out. Easy kick out for the tackle. We got a great double team here on the front side. And we got the second puller working up for number 51 right here. That's outstanding stuff. And we get nobody touching the running back. And I want B-Rob in this position, and I want him to punish number 34. And I think when you have a scheme that elevates your guys, can get guys into space, clean running lanes, exploit and magnify skill sets, that's what Eric Bieniemy brings to this offense, and I am ecstatic to see what he brings, and I'm sure the players here are ecstatic as well. And Washington fans, you should be super fired up.
Thank you, Logan. Now keep it here, because when we come back, we have more from Coach Bieniemy's first day at the park in Ashburn, including my exclusive one-on-one interview where we talk about how everything came together to make him a Commander. And a little later, the guys and I will talk about what to expect from Washington's offense once Coach Bieniemy gets his hands on it, and what it will mean for Terry, Jahan, and Curtis. And you can get ahead of the game and secure your luxury suite for the 2023 season. Experience the excitement of a Commanders game from the climate-controlled comfort and privacy of a luxury suite. Enjoy gourmet catering options, VIP parking, and more for you and your guests. Learn more and place your suite deposit for the 2023 season at commanders.com/suites. Welcome back to Welcome to Washington, Commanders Offseason Special, brought to you by the Telluride X Pro from Kia, official partner of the Washington Commanders. Here's a look at how the Washington Commanders offense stacked up last season. They were their best when running the ball. Their 126 rush yards per game were 12th most in the league this season. The Commanders went 6-4-1 when rushing for over 100 yards the year. And I had a chance, to sit down with Coach after his introduction to the media to find out his style of offense. First impressions so far of what is going to be your new home and your new family, because you've already had the opportunity to meet some of your players, evaluate some of the staff, now the media.
Very impressed. Obviously, I've known Coach Rivera for a number of years. He's a great man, a man of integrity. He's an outstanding leader of men, and I'm just grateful to have this opportunity working with him, and then having an opportunity getting to know Martin Mayhew, over the years, and Stokes over the years, and then Jason Wright. He's from the same neck of the woods that I grew up in Southern California. And then Marty Herney. A lot of people don't know this. Marty Herney was on that staff. I think he was the director of player personnel at the time when I was drafted by the San Diego Chargers. So our relationship goes back to 1991. So it feels good being in an environment with people that you know, but also good people who are professional men that understand what it takes to build a winner.
When head coach Ron Rivera first started this, he wanted something different to help run this offense, because there's so much talent. And I know we don't like to talk too much about potential, but there's a lot of potential there. Now, your success is very well documented. I know you're not wearing your Super Bowl rings right now, flashing them, but you have every right to stand proud of the accomplishments you have. What makes you, though, the right guy for this job here in D.C.?
Well, what makes me the right guy is the leadership that I'm going to bring. On top of that, holding guys to the highest standard, getting them to understand the importance of being accountable. I think that goes a very long way. On top of that, just understanding what consistent and disciplined behavior is. And you got to be willing to work at it every single day. And then willing to sacrifice. And when I mean sacrifice, it ain't necessarily giving up something. It's what are you willing to do to make the next man better. And so once you start building that and start getting guys to understand the importance of those terms and they start living it, now you have an opportunity to be as successful as you want, because a part of that is making sure you're building a cohesive unit. And if you get a cohesive unit that believe in each other and play for each other, those guys they'll go out and be great, because the talent is here.
Everybody wants to know what kind of system you'll run. What can we expect from the system and the plays you will call?
Well, I think more than anything is just utilizing the guys and allowing them to be themselves, because you always want their personalities to show, but just putting them in the best situation so they can be the best player that they can be to give us the great, a great deal of success. So it's a system just like everybody else's. We're going to run it, we're going to throw it, but when it's all said and done with, we're going to be flexible and creative with it. And we're going to allow these guys to let their personalities show and be the very best of who they need to be.
Kansas City, you had Patrick Mahomes, and a great situation right there and a lot of success with probably much more still to come. Their time's not done yet.
No, not at all.
Everybody was sitting here for years saying you need to be a head coach.
Mm-hmm.
Then your resume would speak for that. So why leave Kansas City now and for here?
It's been an amazing ride. I've been there for 10 years. Not everybody can say it's been in one place for 10 years. And throughout that 10 years, we've had a great deal of success. My last 5 years there, as the offensive coordinator, we went to 5 AFC championship games. Went to 3 Super Bowls, we won 2. Okay, so just like I said in my press conference, comfort can become the enemy of progress. And sometimes you just want to do something new. And it's about embracing the challenge. I've never ran away from a challenge.
So what is the challenge here then?
The challenge is getting these guys to believe in who they are and getting these guys to understand that if you want something bad enough, you got to be willing to work at it every single day, invest in it, invest in each other, but also making sure that you can stay focused on the prize. And that's a hard task.
You can see the entire interview on our Commanders YouTube channel. And after the break, Fred, Santana, and Logan are back with me to talk about what has them most excited about what Coach Bieniemy can do with this offense. And level up your 2023 Commanders game day experience in the Loge Level Shared Suites. Enjoy plush open-air seating, all-you-can-eat catering, private premier bar, and the exclusive Loge Lounge. Learn more and secure your Loge experience for the 2023 season now at commanders.com/suites. Welcome back to the Welcome to Washington Commanders offseason special, brought to you by the Telluride X Pro from Kia, official partner of the Washington Commanders. Here's a look at some of the new faces here in Washington. Linebacker Cody Barton spent 4 seasons in Seattle alongside veteran Bobby Wagner, recording over 130 tackles in 2022. 7-year vet Jacoby Brissett joins quarterback Sam Howell, and Washington signed lineman Nick Gates and Andrew Wiley. Wiley is familiar with new offensive coordinator and assistant coordinator Eric Bieniemy after 5 seasons in Kansas City. Time to get some final thoughts as the Eric Bieniemy era officially kicks off here in Washington. Santana, I want to start with you.
Well, I just know what we have, on the offensive side of the ball, the firepower we have on the outside and in the backfield. So I'm just looking forward to seeing what he can do with these guys. I think these guys can go out there and really excel and be their best self, or the best version of themselves.
You just hit it on the head. I actually want to see these guys get tutored by this leadership, because when I looked at the team on paper, he has better weapons here than Kansas City. And I know everybody's going to go crazy when I say that. I'm sorry. Beside Kelsey at the tight end, we have a better group of guys out there.
And the quarterback position also. It's important to acknowledge Patrick Mahomes, but I do think I'm excited to see the diversity of his knowledge come to light, right? He's been in run-first schemes. He's been in pass-first schemes. He's been in RPO-based schemes. He can literally bring anything he wants to elevate the guys you're talking about, and I think that's really good football coach, and I can't wait to see what he does.
I think the biggest thing, too, is we finally get to see what a fully run, fully controlled Eric Bieniemy offense will look like with him entirely at the helm, control over all of it, and we are excited to have him here in Washington. We hope you enjoyed this EB special, and we'll see you next time. For Fred, Logan, and Santana, I'm Julie Donaldson.